Hi, you are listening to the Point of View Stories for Moving as a Child, Part 2. Today, I'll be telling you 3 different versions of the story that you first heard in the mini-story lesson, Moving as a Child, Part 2. Each story will either be told from a different point in time or by a different person. Let's get started by telling the story as if it is happening right now. Okay, let's go. Julia Roberts' house in Los Angeles is on fire. She calls her friend Will Smith. He thinks that she is just crying wolf. Then she starts to scream at the top of her lungs. So Will Smith calls the firemen. The fire truck gets to her house, but they cannot stop the fire. The house burns down, so Julia Roberts has to move. It's pretty obvious that she is upset, but she has to leave Los Angeles. She moves to a very small town. At first, it is rough. She is the only movie star in town, so she sticks out like a sore thumb. But the people are nice, so it is easy to become familiar with them. One day, she meets a nice man at a cafe. They fall in love and get married. When she looks back on her wedding, she smiles, and now she thinks that the fire was a blessing in disguise. Okay, so that is the story as if it is happening right now. Now let's hear the story as if it will happen sometime in the future. So we will think of the story happening 2 years from now. Okay, here we go. 2 years from now, Julia Roberts' house in Los Angeles will be on fire. She will call her friend Will Smith. He's going to think that she is just crying wolf. Then she's going to start to scream at the top of her lungs. So Will Smith will call the firemen. The fire truck will get to her house, but they will not be able to stop the fire. The house is going to burn down, so Julia Roberts will have to move. It will be pretty obvious that she is going to be upset. But she will have to leave Los Angeles. She is going to move to a very small town. At first, it'll be rough. She will be the only movie star in town, so she's going to stick out like a sore thumb. But the people will be nice, so it's going to be easy to become familiar with them. One day, she's going to meet a nice man at a cafe. They'll fall in love and get married. When she looks back on her wedding, she'll smile and she'll think that the fire was a blessing in disguise. Okay, so that's the end of the story where we talk about the events that are going to happen 2 years from now. Now we're going to hear the story from Julia Roberts' point of view. So in this version, it is going to be as if Julia Roberts is telling you the story. Okay, here we go. My house in Los Angeles was on fire. I called my friend Will Smith. He thought that I was just crying wolf. Then I started to scream at the top of my lungs. So Will Smith called the firemen. The fire truck got to my house, but they could not stop the fire. The house burned down, so I had to move. It was pretty obvious that I was upset, but I had to leave Los Angeles. I moved to a very small town. At first, it was rough. I was the only movie star in town, so I stuck out like a sore thumb. But the people were nice, so it was easy to get familiar with them. One day, I met a nice man at a cafe. We fell in love and got married. When I look back on my wedding, I smile, and now I think that the fire was a blessing in disguise. Okay, that brings us to the end of the point of view stories for Moving as a Child, Part 2. Now go back and listen to each of these stories. Listen to them many times. After you feel like you know the stories, then try to tell each story on your own. Remember to take your time and relax. Go through the stories slowly if you need to, and make sure that you learn them deeply. Okay, that's all for now. We'll see you next time.
Hi, this is Kristen Dodds.
And this is Joe Weiss. And we just wanted to let you know that this material has been copyrighted in the year 2009 by Learn Real English, LLC. www.learnrealenglish.com